Hello, fellas and ladies. Still doing TIFF. A lot more TIFF. So many TIFF. You're gonna be like, what is this, TIFF City? I'm reviewing so many movies, and if all goes well, the individual TIFF reviews will be done by next week. However, you can skip all that process. You can be like, no more waiting. You can just read all about it on Bite-Size Breakdown. Every single movie I reviewed, all 50 movies, which I won't be doing all 50 here, for the record. All 50 movies have been reviewed on that website right now. There's an article about it. Go ahead and read all of them right now if you must. I will be continuing the TIFF coverage with The Last Showgirl, the newest film directed by Gia Coppola and starring Pamela Anderson. And in this film, Pam Anderson plays a dancer for a burlesque kind of show on the Las Vegas Strip who must reevaluate everything and find a new path in life after she learns that the show will be coming to an end. So what's going on here? People, I think some people have some questions about this film, mainly about Pamela Anderson. Is this her Mickey Rourke moment? Is this where she gets to shine and finally show that she's more than just, girl with boobs as seen in everything she's ever been in? And however low that bar may be, I gotta say, this is easily Pam Anderson's best performance. I think she shines very brightly here. I think she has a lot of authenticity to her performance. A lot of respect for this character, for these kind of people that she's playing. Pamela Anderson almost kind of uses her own reputation to the film's advantage, as she does have some, ditzy moments in this movie. I'm not saying there's anything groundbreaking about her performance, but she does show a side of her that I personally have never seen from her. I think the entire ensemble is fantastic. Dave Bautista constantly shows that he is, probably the best wrestler turned actor ever. In this movie, he's much more reserved, much more silent, much more, comfy, and more like a teddy bear kind of presence. With silence, Dave Bautista does wonders. I think Dave Bautista is truly one of our most interesting actors, and I think because of his stature, we're kind of shocked by it, but honestly, he's just constantly pouring out these very interesting performances left and right, and this is no exception. Also really like the performance of Jamie Lee Curtis, kind of going through a similar arc as Pamela Anderson's character, although it's a lot less interesting. But yeah, she's kind of like the mom of this group of dancers. She's very loud and exciting to watch. She's very entertaining to watch. I also really love the performance of Kiernan Shipka, who's having quite a year between this and Longlegs. Again, that's a character who's, I kind of wish it was a little more developed. There's kind of a weird thing with her and Pam Anderson, clearly a jealousy thing going on that I don't think is quite established well enough, but Kiernan Shipka is truly fantastic in every scene. I also really like Gia Coppola's direction here. I think every decision she makes is very precise. I particularly love the use of Las Vegas. Instead of showing it as we're used to seeing it, this glamorous, city of neon and, just this debaucherous, exciting place, and instead we're mostly seeing it in the light. Most of this movie takes place during the day, and especially during these exterior shots, we see what Las Vegas really looks like, and I don't know, there's something very interesting about the decision and how it relates to Pamela Anderson's story in the movie. It's very well shot overall. I really did enjoy how it looked. I do think this movie does fall flat when it comes to its writing. This movie has a lot of sincerity into it. They very clearly care about what this protagonist is going through. They have something clear to say about this idea of having to reevaluate your purpose, quote unquote. That said, I feel like we've seen this before. It doesn't do anything that engaging or that fascinating to this story other than the fact that now it takes place on the Las Vegas Strip. If anything, it feels a little watered down. I feel like the reality of what Pamela Anderson's character is going through is just a little more oh no, it's just because ageism and sexism. And I'm just well, obviously there's a truth to it, but there feels a little more as well. There's a daughter storyline that I think sucked. Just straight up wasn't good. I just did not care about this thing at all. And there's also a twist involving that, and I was just that didn't have to happen. At 85 minutes, this movie breezes by, but I feel like it breezes by almost to a fault. I feel like the movie just didn't have that much to say, so they just kind of cut it short, and it feels like they got everything out of the way already. It just kind of goes, yeah, it's never too late to reset your life, or you're never too old to discover your purpose. And then it just kind of goes at the end. Everyone's kind of going through the same thing, but other than Anderson and to an extent Bautista's character, it's not really that interesting. It's clear that everybody here cared about what they were doing. It's just, I feel like the writing didn't service the sincerity or the commitment that everyone else had to this movie. I kind of would have liked to see a little more. I know there's a thing where it's all right, leave some of it to the imagination, but I feel like the movie leaves a little too much to the imagination. Why couldn't we see what else she had going for her aside from dancing? I feel like they did kind of leave it at that. It's just no, she's just really good at dancing. We kind of get ideas of why she ended up where she is, but it's like, yeah, she liked it there. I know it's like an idea that it's like frowned upon, but you know, they do give a lot of respect to that industry, to like, you know, exotic dancing. I admire that it's treated as like a family. I admire that it's like, just like, yeah, for a lot of people this is all they can do, but the movie kind of just boils down to her struggles as, she's just too old to be doing exotic dancing still. I'm just like, well, that's kind of need to add to that a little bit. What you're left with is a very good lead performance, yes, but you also just kind of have something that's a little emptier than it should have been. In the end, well, The Last Showgirl is proof you probably hoped for, that there is some unbridled talent for Pamela Anderson. I do kind of wish it was in a film where the writing allowed a deeper exploration of refinding your purpose that matched the prowess of the filmmaking. And I'm gonna have to give The Last Showgirl 6 Pam Andersons out of 10. I feel like everyone kind of caught on that Oscar-wise, more likely than not, this is basically a goose egg waiting to happen, but I do want to investigate Pamela Anderson a little bit. It's not going to get any supporting nominations. Again, Dave Bautista's very, very subtle, and Jamie Lee Curtis just, you know, a lot of people thought she was a standout, but like, I don't personally see it. It's very clear that it's Pamela Anderson, and, you know, there is something obviously compelling about nominating Pamela Anderson. At the Q&A I was at, she was very open and upfront that this is like her first actual performance, like she's ever, like the first like real role she's ever gotten where she got to actually do something. She's very open about that, and that could be very good for voters if she keeps doing that. It is confirmed from this year. The studio isn't like very, you know, ideal, but you know, if people see it, then you know they could do something with her. I can see enough precursors going for her. Maybe, you know, Golden Globe's probably going to go for her. Maybe SAG does it. I do see some people giving her some flack, like not all of her delivery worked for a lot of people. And also, again, she's the only thing getting nominated for this performance, and the buzz for this is pretty low. So I wouldn't personally count on it, but I wouldn't count her out either. So, you know, I'm actually more optimistic than, you know, I thought I would be, but at this point in time, I would stick with she wouldn't get in. All right, that is the end of that. Like, subscribe, and share. And then I'm going to go film another TIFF review because I got a lot to do.